It's a dark, cold, rainy, gloomy day in the Philadelphia area today, but the Philadelphia Phillies are providing that energy and providing that spark all the way from Colorado with another win last night against the Rockies. They took that game 7-4. They are now have a 5-game winning streak going back to their sweep against the Pirates last weekend. So 5 games wins in a row for the Phillies. They had back-to-back 17-hit games against the Rockies to start this 4-game series. They are now outscoring the Rockies 16-7 through the first 2 games of this series out there at Coors Field in Colorado. I'm Mike Kennelly. This is Phillies Daily. Make sure you guys subscribe for more things Philadelphia Phillies from me. And like I said, the Phillies got another impressive win last night. The Rockies are not good. They have 8 wins just in 2025 this year. Terrible team. Probably one of the best or one of the worst ever in Major League Baseball. They're on pace for it, that's for sure. They are just not good, and the Phillies are taking care of business. Yesterday, in that 7-4 win against the Rockies, the Phillies got off to a really, really fast start, which is great to see because it feels like a lot lately, and even just throughout the whole 2025 season, the Phillies are making a lot of late inning comebacks. So it's good to see when they can get some runs on the board early, get the ball rolling in their court, get some runs for their starting pitcher to feel more comfortable and confident out on the mound early in games. And the Phillies did just that for Jesus Luzardo yesterday in that win. Fast start in the first inning. Bryson Stott led off with an infield single to start the game. Then Trey Turner followed him. He poked the ball down the right field line. Right fielder tried to dive for it. It ended up bouncing into foul territory. After it bounced in fair territory, it went into foul territory, and he got a ground rule double down that right field line. Bryce Harper, the Phillies superstar and face of the team, came up and he hit a 2 RBI hustle double to give the Phillies an early 2-0 lead with still no outs in that first inning. And then the Phillies just played smart baseball, just fundamental baseball, what you have to do in those situations. Bryce Harper on second base in scoring position with no outs, obviously, less than 2 outs, no outs. You're trying to move Bryce Harper or score him. So Kyle Schwarber came up as the 4th batter of the ball game. He hit a ball deep to center field, caught, but Harper was able to advance to third base on that with just 1 out. And then Nick Castellanos came up right after, hit a fly ball of his own for a sac fly. Bryce Harper scored early 3-0 Phillies lead to go into that bottom half of the inning with the Rockies coming up, giving Jesus Luzardo a 3-0 lead to work with. And Jesus Luzardo, that's really all he needs this year in 2025. He is definitely one of the best pitchers on the team and one of the best pitchers in all of Major League Baseball. He's been a great acquisition, and the Phillies just kept on hitting in that game for him. They had, it was nice to see because in that first game against the Rockies, the offense kind of struggled through most of the game until the 8th and 9th inning where they just absolutely exploded offensively. But yesterday, it was a little different. Like I said, they got off to that fast start, got those 3 early runs, and they just kept continuing to hit the baseball. They had, like I said, to start off this video, they had another 17-hit performance against the Rockies, which is incredible. 2 17-hit games to start this 4-game series through 2 games. The Phillies scored 7 runs, obviously, off those 17 hits, had 5 extra base hits last night against the Rockies. Bryson Stott, Bryce Harper, Brandon Marsh, the Triple Bs, all had 3 hits each in that ball game. Trey Turner, Max Kepler, and Alec Boehm each had 2 hits. Kyle Schwarber, the Schwarbarian himself, hit another Schwarbomb after hitting his 300th career home run. Incredible, impressive feat for him. Just a massive milestone for his career. He hit his 300th home run in the series opener on Monday night against the Rockies. And then last night in Game 2 of this 4-game series, Schwarber hit a solo shot in the 7th inning for his 301st career home run. It is now his 17th home run in 2025, and that is good, tied for the most with Los Angeles Dodgers superstar Shohei Ohtani. 17 home runs, tied for the most in the major leagues. Incredible power performance, just incredible all-around performance by Kyle Schwarber this year in a contract year, mind that. So he is proving to the Phillies why they should lock him up on another multi-year deal. He is so crucial, so important to this team and this lineup. Great veteran presence, great clubhouse guy, and he is just getting things done at the plate, and it's great to see. So the Phillies really need to re-sign this man. They can't let the Schwarbarian out of Philadelphia. He has just been incredible. And in last night's game, it happens to some guys every once in a while. It never feels good when your team's getting 17 hits, 7 runs, and 34 hits through a 2-game span. JT Realmuto, the Phillies catcher, he was the only player in the Phillies lineup in last night's 7-4 win against the Rockies to have 0 hits. He was hitless. Like I said, it's going to happen. Never feels good. But that just shows how good the lineup was top to bottom last night in that win. Everybody was hitting, like I said. 3 players had 3 hits. 3 players had 2 hits. Unfortunately, JT Realmuto had 0. But, he'll take the win, obviously. And who else will obviously take a win in that game? Jesus Luzardo. I talked about him a little bit earlier in this video. He has been incredible this season in 2025 since the Phillies acquired him this past offseason from their NL East rival, Miami Marlins. They made a trade with the Marlins, got Jesus Luzardo just to shore up an already dominant starting rotation, and he has not disappointed so far through his first 10 starts with his new team in the Phillies. He gutted out a 6-inning performance last night against the Rockies. By no means did he have his best stuff. It definitely wasn't his best performance, but he, stayed true to who he is. He had things working as the game went on, gutted out those 6 innings. He allowed just 2 hits. He had 3 walks. He had a little bit of command issues earlier in the game, but he figured it out as he went along. But he had just those 2 hits, 3 walks, allowed just 1 run, and he had 10, count them, 10, that's 2 full hands worth of strikeouts. Just incredible. He threw 105 pitches, a lot for 6 innings. Like I said, he was struggling a little earlier on in the game, but he figured things out, had those 10 strikeouts, which is incredible for not having his best stuff throughout the game. Obviously, the Rockies aren't the best team, but they're still facing major league talent, major league hitters, and he got the job done in that win yesterday. He is now 5-0, no losses to start his Phillies career with a 1.95 ERA, sub 2. It's May 21st right now. That is incredible. He has 67 strikeouts in his first 10 starts of 2025. He has allowed 2 runs or fewer in 9 of his 10 starts now in 2025 with the Phillies. Just incredible. He is having quality start after quality start. He is keeping runners off base. He is keeping runners on base, left on base if they are on base, not allowing many runs. Like I said, 2 runs or fewer in 9 of his 10 starts. And that one start where he allowed more than 2 runs, he allowed 3 runs. So it really wasn't that bad, wasn't that much in that start. And that was back on April 15th, over a month ago, against the San Francisco Giants. Jesus Luzardo is arguably the best Phillies starter this year, and that's tough to say when you have a guy like Zach Wheeler, who was the National League Cy Young runner-up last year. Jesus Luzardo may be better than him at this point of the season. He is definitely an NL Cy Young candidate so far through the early part of the 2025 season, and like I said, just a great acquisition by the Phillies and Dave Dombrowski this offseason. Jesus Luzardo, he is just dominant, and it's great to see. Unfortunately for the Phillies, obviously, one of their more dominant relievers. He's been streaky throughout his career, but Jose Alvarado, they got the news this past Sunday that Jose Alvarado, the hard-throwing, left-handed, late-inning, high-leverage reliever for the Phillies, was suspended 80 games, and he is now ineligible for the postseason if the Phillies are to make it that far, which obviously they're right up there with the best of them. So right now, unless something crazy happens, they will be in the playoffs. Alvarado he reportedly took a weight loss drug during the offseason, which contained an illegal substance, leading to this suspension. Unfortunate for him, unfortunate for the Phillies, especially in a bullpen that has been streaky this year and got off to a really bad start, and he was having a very good season. The Phillies lost a very important piece to the back end of their bullpen and Jose Alvarado. They have a lot to figure out on who is going to step up either internally or externally to replace Alvarado as the season moves on, because they definitely need somebody at that to help in that back end high leverage role, late inning role with Jordan Romano, Orion Kirkring, and Matt Strahm. Yesterday, the Phillies did have two relatively newish relievers. It wasn't a high leverage situation, but they did come in after Jesus Luzardo. Jose Ruiz came in first for the 7th inning. It was his first appearance since returning from an injury. He allowed 3 hits, 1 run, and he threw 19 pitches in that 1 inning in the 7th. Not his best performance. Like I said, he was returning from injury, so he may have been a little rusty after having a rehab start in the minors, or rehab appearances in the minors. But last year, he was really good for the Phillies, and during his first year with the Phillies, pleasant surprise for them. He really came out of nowhere, had a 3.71 ERA in 51 innings for the Phillies last year in 2024. This year, before his injury, he wasn't really doing that great, wasn't pitching as well as he did in 2024. And now with his 1 run and 3 hit performance last night in the 7th inning and that 7-4 win over the Rockies, his 2025 season ERA is up to 5.11 through 12 and a third innings in 2025. So obviously he's struggling a bit so far. Hopefully he can figure things out and get back to who he was last year with the Phillies in the bullpen, because the Phillies definitely need a guy like him to rebound and take some innings and, take pressure off some of these other bullpen arms with Jose Alvarado out. Another guy that came up in the bullpen, the Phillies called up Max Lazar from AAA. He made some appearances last year for the Phillies in 2024, but he started in the minors this year in AAA. He came up and made his first appearance in 2025 with the Phillies. He pitched the 8th inning against the Rockies and the 9th, but he went a 1-2-3 inning with a strikeout in the 8th. Perfect inning. Great performance there. The Phillies did send him back out for the 9th inning for his 2nd inning of work in relief. Not the same success in the 9th inning as he had in the 8th inning, but he did still get the job done overall. He let up a leadoff double to start that 9th inning, and then an RBI single following that double. So the Phillies had a 7-3 lead. Not really any cause for concern at that point, but there was no outs. But then he recorded the next 2 outs. So he let up the 1 run, had 2 outs, and then there was another RBI base hit after getting those 2 outs to make it a 7-4 game. The Phillies started getting some bullpen action going just in case, because you never know what's going to happen. But Max Lazar and the Phillies were able to record the final out and win that game 7-4. His final line in that performance, he went 2 innings, allowed 3 hits, 2 runs, and had 1 strikeout. Obviously, the 8th inning, he was perfect. He's not always going to be, if he's up here for longer, he's not always going to be a guy that's going to pitch more than 1 inning. So maybe that hindered his success and performance last night. But overall, he got the job done. He has a 3.12 ERA with 20 strikeouts and 17 and a third innings in AAA this year with the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. So he's been having a solid season down there in the bullpen. It's just another option that the Phillies could utilize here in 2025 with Jose Alvarado out. Obviously, they're auditioning guys internally to see what they can do, to see if they're going to need to make a move externally to bring a guy in through trade as the season progresses and as we get closer to the July trade deadline. But that's something that's going to be an ongoing process as we approach that. Hope you guys enjoy this episode of Phillies Daily. I'm Mike Hennelly. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, and subscribe for more Phillies content from Phillies Daily. And yours truly, Mike Hennelly. Again, hope you guys enjoyed this. And go Phils, let's keep riding this momentum.